up? How you doing? What's up? What's up? All right. What's up? What's up? I'm not gonna be on here for this long. I just wanted to speak about uh, this administration. That I keep seeing a lot of people like, you know, don't get on him, and it's not his fault. This was here before him, and all of this stuff. And yeah, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that because no, no. This is, he continued some BS, and now he looked crazy, and he got a lot of y'all faves looking crazy, and now people want to make it like he ain't the problem, and he's the problem. So, I want to talk about his administration because it ain't just him. His whole administration is absolutely trash. Uh, so that's the connecting people with policy came out today. That was an interview I did. Check that out. It was a very good interview with Uda K. Um, it's on her YouTube channel. It's on if you follow me on X, the link is on there, but it's on her YouTube channel, and her name of her show is Connecting People with Policy. So I break down a lot of stuff in there. So that came out today, and that pretty much sums up my reasoning of doing everything that I'm doing right now. But when it comes to this administration, I just want to give my point of view and my opinion when it comes to it because I have I have been down here going on 3 years. Damn near his. I've been there his whole term. So, um, yeah, it's pretty much terrible. And I'm learning with this whole government thing. Like it's always, well, it was the last administration. It was the last administration. It's like they're gonna keep playing this blame game, and that's where we gotta stop this or end this. We gotta do executive orders or go in just like Trump. Trump ain't waste no time. He took away a lot of things, and people are upset, mad, But I think it's a blessing. Yesterday was National Black History Month, and a lot of people, were upset. But I sort of see that as a way to start talking to the Republican Party about getting that whole month off. Like after what we've been dealing with and what we have dealt with, I don't think that it should be a problem with freedmen getting the whole month of February off. And I think it can happen. I think it can work. I don't want to hear anybody saying it's impossible because it's not. And after we just watched this last administration give out $400 billion plus more, because the last administration stole about $1 trillion, if not more, when it came to COVID-19, when it came to the legal immigration scheme, and just them being thieves, because they launder money all day. However, since they do have all this money and we see it, and it's sponsored by our tax dollar as well. However, even these grants too, but I see that can be something that we can ask for uh, this term. Like, y'all want to stay in position, we need y'all. We need um, National Black History Month to be a federal holiday. We want it to be a federal holiday, and it can happen. It can actually be like sort of like a spring break or something, because we would make so much money that month to give back to the economy. They've been the best idea on earth, because we're celebrating a whole month, like a whole month, and then that would make sense when it comes to celebrating Juneteenth. So it's just a suggestion. I think it could work. You know, you can't you can't talk yourself out of it, or you can't make it complicated, because that's what we do. We make a lot of things complicated. We don't have to make things complicated. So just keep that in mind. I'll talk more about that later on, another time. Let me get into this administration. So Brandon Johnson has administration full of DEI. Okay, his whole administration is full of DEI, and they are terrible. He honestly is like the MC Hammer of politicians. Remember when MC Hammer got on, and then he put everybody else on, and then went bankrupt? Yeah, this man got in office and was like, I'm just gonna make everybody something. I'm just gonna put all my home people, all my home boys and girls in positions, and they have no idea how to govern. Okay, it's pretty much embarrassing at this point, and it's going to continue to be embarrassing, because he has no idea what he's doing, and nobody in his camp has no idea what he's doing. They thought they were going to do that little photo shoot with Tribe, and, make it like he got the most black people in his administration, and they're making history, and they are making history as the worst administration to ever even get into the mayor's office. I mean, they're worse than Kwame Kilpatrick, and Kwame Kilpatrick, they bankrupt Detroit, but like, this is much worse than that. Like, I don't even know. Man, we are living. This is going to be a new season of hypocrisy, political corruption, foreign affairs scamming, corporate greed, sponsored by our tax dollar. It's insane. But let's start with John Robertson. John Robertson served as the Chief Operating Officer, so COO, for the city of Chicago. He oversees the daily operations of city departments, ensuring efficient service delivery to residents. Well, I don't know about that, John. In March 2024, a significant shakeup occurred in Mayor Brandon Johnson's administration, leading to the departure of Chief of Staff Rich Guidis or Gudis, one or the other. Robert reports indicated internal conflicts and dissatisfaction within the administration. particularly concerning the handling of the migrant crisis and other pressing city issues. As COO, Robertson's role as managing city operations placed him at the center of these administrative challenges. Now, I'll tell you about Rich. Rich has been um, in there for a very long time. He's been chief of staff for, I think, 5 or 6 administrations. Daily, he been there since Daily, and he left last year. And I remember him leaving last year because he already knew that they was on some BS. Because no one knows what they're doing. No one. No one knows at all. So, 2025 city budget passed in December 2024, and that faced intense debate and criticism from various factions. And everybody knew that. That budget, that's still gonna be the budget. That budget gonna go down in history. That budget is the budget to remember because that budget is the budget that they're going to go to jail on. So and it goes back to now he's trying to borrow $820 million because there's no money. And he knows there's no money, but they don't have another script, so they have to continue to do this crazy stuff. All right. You got Annette Guzman. That is the budget director. She's responsible for managing the city's budget, allocating resources to various departments, and ensuring fiscal responsibility. Yeah, I don't know if they have any type of fiscal responsibility. But as Chicago's budget director, Annette Guzman, she also has faced several criticisms related to her fiscal management strategies. First is using short-term fixes instead of real solutions, which is what they're trying to do now, trying to hurry up and borrow $820 million. But city council has to vote on that. And if they vote on that, they really do, for sure. I mean, they're getting out of office anyway, but for sure, if they pass that $820 million, knowing that we want forensic audits, they're for sure done. Like, they might as well resign. So I don't think they're going to vote on that budget. The 2025 budget relied on temporary tricks to balance the books instead of fixing deeper financial problems. The city is moving money around, laundering. Y'all are laundering money, guessing to figure out what their future income is, and pushing payments to later years instead of creating new steady ways to bring in money. There's no money to bring in. Okay? No money at all. Now, you have now we didn't have no property tax hike. But in the future, they might try to give you more property taxes. So be mindful of that. That's why you got to make sure that your alderman does not vote for this budget that he's trying to get. This money that he's trying to get loaned until I think 2026. That's not even enough money. $820 million. You just need to let it fall. Just let it go bankrupt. That's what it is. Okay, the credit score has already went down. It dropped already. Okay, the only people that were upset, that really was upset, was only 15 aldermen. 15 aldermen was not enough. You got 50 aldermen, only 15 that really spoke out. It really was the city of Chicago that really pushed for this. The comptroller, he left shortly after because he already knew that it was over. The comptroller, he wasn't in there. I think he was only in there a year. Um, let's see. Let's see how long he was in there for. Yeah, he got up out of there. He was like, no, and his name was Chase Rewinkle. Okay, he got up out of there. He resigned and decided that he was going to go to take a job with Devon Bank or Devon Bank. Okay, um, so right then and there, he got up out of there because he already know the smoke is on its way because these people don't know how to govern. Okay, that's what happens when you just say you promise everybody in the hood a job. I'm gonna get you a job. These people don't have no idea what they're doing and making you look crazy. All right, then we have Brandy Nazi or Canaz, but she was the commissioner of the Department of Family and Supportive Services. She led initiatives aimed at supporting Chicago's vulnerable populations, including youth, seniors, and the homeless. I don't know when she was doing this, but anyway, she served as the commissioner of Chicago Department of Family and Services since 2021. And they say she's been instrumental in leading initiatives to support these people, but I don't know. But in December 2024, she announced her resignation from DFFSS effective December 31st to transition to a role in the nonprofit sector. Okay, she decided to go to the nonprofit sector. She said, "The hell with this government, the hell with this migrant crisis money, because y'all done stole too much of it, and I'm not going to get in trouble. So I'm going to head on over to this nonprofit sector." Okay, now she said that the decision came at a critical time when Chicago was grappling with an influx of migrants and potential mass deportations. Alderman Andre Vasquez, chair of the City Council's Committee on Immigrant and Refugee Rights, expressed concern over the timing, stating, "To have somebody new come in, there's a learning curve, and right now we can't afford that." I bet you can't afford that, Andre Vasquez, because your ass is going to jail too. Now, Famous Fridays will be this Friday coming up, and Andre Vasquez is the person, the alderman that we're going to make famous. So it's ironic to see this. All right. And then she mishandled the migrant data. Of course, that's the real problem right now. The data. Okay, that's why we need a forensic audit. In November 2024, former contractors at Chicago migrant shelters filed a federal complaint alleging that Favorite Healthcare Staffing, a company contracted by the city, systematically mishandled personal and health information of shelter residents. The complaint highlighted that employees and contractors were allowed to access and share sensitive data over insecure channels without proper encryption. While the complaint was directed at the staffing company, it raised concerns about oversight and data protection protocols under DFS purview during her leadership. Then they had unsanitary conditions in migrant shelters, and they not even in migrant shelters, in the shelters period. Since she's DCFS, the whole shelter system, the whole Chicago shelter system and system in general was unsanitary and unsafe. People were leaving. Chicago citizens were they had so much mold in these shelters that people was getting sick, and had to go to the hospital. Okay, all these people was getting paid for work with these migrants and whatever they want to call it. They was getting paid $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, and them shelters look like that. Ain't nobody thought to let's fix up the shelters, let's rehab the shelters, whatever. Let's make it look like we care about people. You know what I'm saying? We got all this money. It's a lot of money, you know. The government has unlimited funds, so when people really don't have to live the way that they are living because they're trying to say that we don't have enough money. The government has unlimited funds, okay? Because all they do is launder our money all day, okay? All right. So she reports emerged detailing unsanitary and overcrowded conditions at a migrant shelter in Pilsen. That's where little baby had died, right? And Mayor Johnson going to come out and say, look, they're showing up here sick. They're showing up sick. Okay? That's y'all mayor. That's what he said. All right. Issues such as insufficient bathrooms, exposed sewage pipes, insect infestations, and inadequate food and water provisions were highlighted. Emails revealed that city officials, including Brandy, were informed of these conditions months prior. Yes, emails are sent, but it doesn't matter when you're going to get paid regardless. When the federal government going to pay you regardless, you're going to be lazy. That's why I'm glad that it's a freeze right now on federal hiring because y'all are lazy. Lazy. It don't matter what you write. You can show them everything. It's insects, all of this, everything happened. All of this. And all this money. But you guys can't never fix anything. It's always somebody else's fault. He said that it's to beat the kids because they're showing up sick. Okay? This is your mayor. Now, but she got up out of there because she already know it's about to go down. Now, Mary Richardson Lowry, she serves as the corporation counsel, and honestly, I believe that she is controlling this because she used to be the buildings commissioner for the Department of Buildings back when Daley was in office. Okay? And then she got a lot. Something with her, man. But anyway, Mary Richardson Lowry serving as the corporation counsel. Okay, she is the city's lead attorney, meaning she can settle my case. And I gave her the most important piece of my case of this fraudulent deed that they still have. The lawyer still works for them, Bradley Wilson. I gave all this information. Well, she told me to give it to her, get it to her. Supposedly, Jason Leigh, I gave it to Jason Leigh, and Jason Leigh said he was gonna make sure she had it, but I haven't heard from her. But after I do my little research on her, it's her problem. She's stopping this too because she used to work in the buildings department back then, so she probably knows exactly what's going on with this case. Mary Richardson Lowry served as the commissioner of the Chicago Department of Buildings from June 1998 to March 31st, 2002. Before becoming buildings commissioner, she worked as a project manager in the mayor's office, overseeing programs like the Blue Bag Recycling Project. Before that, she was assistant corporation counsel in the Chicago Law Department. She just been all up in the city hall, okay? She know where where everything works, what everything happens, and she knows how all this works. And I still can't get my case solved. Yeah, she the problem. She part of the reason too. She left in 2002. She resigned and joined the law firm Mayer Brown Rowe and Mall as an equity partner. John Roberson, who was the commissioner of sewers, took over as building commissioners on March 31st, 2002. Okay? She was in charge of the building department for nearly 4 years under Mayor Richard Daley. Okay? So she knows exactly who Marlene Hopkins was because Marlene Hopkins was working there at that time. Okay? Hopkins has been in the Department of Buildings for over 25 years and has held leadership roles for 18 of those years. So I'm pretty sure they know exactly who they are. They know about my mother's case and all of that. But they gotta save each other because they've been running illegal eminent domain schemes in our communities for a very long time and getting away with it due to building violations. Mayor Richardson Lowry was appointed as president of the Chicago Board of Education on February 24th, 2010, following the death of Michael Scott Sr. in November 2009. She served in this role until May 2011, when a new board was appointed by Mayor Rahm Emanuel. During her tenure, she focused on improving educational outcomes and addressing challenges with the Chicago public school system. Mayor Richard Lowry had a distinguished career in public service, but her tenure has not been without criticism. Limited public discussion on school decisions. During her time as president of Chicago Board of Education, there were instances where significant decisions were made with minimal public deliberation. It led to concerns about transparency because they have no transparency. No one at the city hall has any type of transparency at all. They don't know what transparency is. Okay. And the adequacy of public engagement in the decision-making processes of the board. Okay, in her role as corporation counsel, Richardson Lowry advised that the Chicago City Council does not possess the authority to subpoena members of the Chicago Board of Education. This position was met with frustration from all the people who felt it limited their ability to hold the board accountable, especially during periods of significant administrative changes within Chicago public schools. As of January 2025, Mary Richardson Lowry is suing. She took legal action against, she filed a lawsuit against Monique Rivers, a former city employee, alleging fraudulent acquisition of at least $79,000 from the city's Emergency Rental Assistance Program, ERAP. The lawsuit seeks triple damages, penalties, and reimbursement of the city's legal fees. Wow. But when it comes to y'all not settling my family's case, and y'all have violated the Fifth Amendment, and we have all of the information and all the evidence and everything to show you, including the fraud from one of your colleagues who is an attorney and still an attorney in there. So that's just crazy. Okay. The U.S. House Oversight Committee invited Mayor Brandon Johnson to testify regarding Chicago's sanctuary city policies. Richardson Lowry stated that the invitation was under legal review, emphasizing the need to thoroughly assess the legal implications before deciding on a response. They stealing. They y'all stealing, and that's just what it is. Okay, you sit here try. What do you guys need to assess? What do you need to assess, Mary Rich Lowry? You have a document, unless Jason Lee didn't give it to you, and I reached out to Kenny Bartley too, make sure that you got it. You were in possession of a fraudulent deed that a lawyer that works for the city of Chicago files into a case, and that's the reason why my mother lost the first case due to a fraudulent deed. You have this information, and you are sitting here. You announced in January that you are going after Monique. It's clear that the city of Chicago, under Mayor Richard Lowry, is aggressively pursuing legal action when they believe they have been defrauded, especially in cases involving city funds. Yet, when it comes to my case, the city unlawfully demolished my family's property. It's affected my generational wealth, and they haven't moved toward a settlement because they're avoiding admitting fault because they know that we have everything, and they know that they are the whole untouchable. You can't touch. Chicago just do this. They just do this, normalizing just PTSD that the city gives you. They just do it. They just do it. So yeah. So that's just crazy. So we're still waiting for that. Okay? Just stalling. Then you got Sierra Boatwright. Sierra Boatwright holds the position of deputy mayor for neighborhood and economic development, and she's supposed to be focusing on revitalizing Chicago's neighborhoods and promoting economic growth across the city. Okay, she just took office 2023, November 2023. She's the commissioner of the departmental planning, and she's aware of what I got going on too. And what I've seen with her is I've seen her say yes to everything, like pushing yes to every project that he is telling her to like just say yes to. But I've seen her time after time and me going in there about what's going on with my situation and how they taking TIF money from the community and giving to the people downtown and stuff like that. It just get real quiet in there. They have a it's called the Committee on Development. Let me see, Community Development Commission, right? And I talked about this before. It meets every second Tuesday of the month. Community Development Commission was established by the Chicago City Council in 1992 to assume the duties of the former Commercial District Development Commission and Department of Urban Renewal. The CDC reviews and recommends action by the City Council on tax increment financing proposals, TIF, including proposed redevelopment agreements with private organizations. The CDC also helps administer the TIF programs by reviewing proposals involving district designations, redevelopment plans, budgets, amendments, and terminations. The CDC is comprised of 15 members appointed by the mayor and confirmed by city council. So they got Gwendolyn Hatton Butler. I like her. She's actually a nice lady. They got Latasha Thomas, vice chair. She should be in jail. She was a former alderman in the 17th ward, And she too is one of the reasons why uh, this building is not no longer there, the Sandpiper Lounge, because she probably had offered this to a rich developer, because that's what they do. Then you got Grace Chan McKibben. She be in there falling asleep a lot. She be nodding off a lot. Then you got Sierra Boatwright. That's the Department of Development Commissioner, who we talk about now. Robert Buford, Dwight Carter, Leslie Davis, Jacqueline Gomez, Cornelius Greggs, Terrence Johnson, Ronald Mislap, and John Zayas. Now, one of these people, too, is a corrupt pastor. Um, Miss Miss Jackson know more about which one is that one. She be calling him out every time. But yeah, he's crap too. So, but that is a very important meeting, and that a lot of people should go to, and it's Zoom too. But you can go to Community Development Commission, um, or you said Plan Development, but Community Development Commission, and it will tell you when the next meetings are. The next meeting for January, no, we're in February, February 11th. So that's the next one, and it is at 1 o'clock. They be switching it up though, because now that I always call them out for their TIF money, they be moving around. So it could be in room. It can be either held in the council chambers, or room 201A, or room 1103. So basically, you got to chase them down. So get there around 12:45, and you got to just hit all three of these, and maybe you'll find out where they are. They're so corrupt, you know. That's just what they do. All right. So then we got, after Sierra Boatwright, you got Pastor Billy Evans. Pastor Evans serves as the director of the faith-based initiatives. He is the acting liaison between the city's administration and its diverse religious communities to foster collaboration and community engagement. Pastor Billy serves as the chief of faith engagement for the city of Chicago. Okay? And a lot of people argue that having a religious leader in a governmental position blurs the lines between church and state, potentially leading to favoritism towards certain religious groups over others. It's just corrupt in general. Pastor Evans' professional experience is rooted in religious leadership and education, with roles such as pastor of Freedom Temple Church of God in Christ and positions within Chicago public schools. They express concern that his background may not be fully equipped to having to navigate complexities of governance. Pastor Billy makes over $175K, tax-free, right? I bet. I bet. So basically, Pastor B just makes sure during City Hall, when they gotta find a pastor to come in there and pray, he's the one. He's the booker. He's the pastor booker. Okay, he's booking all the religious people. That's basically what he's getting paid $175,000 for. All right. Then you got Anastasia Walker. She is the executive director of the mayor's office of public engagement. They say she also runs the Office of Public Safety Administration. They say it's too much red tape, though. It's not running smoothly. And basically, she has no idea what she's doing. But that's a homegirl. So, as a homegirl, she gets the job. A lot of people complain about this this department because it says police, firefighters, and emergency workers have less control over their departments. And then, of course, it lacks transparency and accountability. But I mean, they all do. Okay, that's a city salary. Yeah. So yeah. And then we have Marlene Hopkins. Okay, Marlene Hopkins is the commissioner of the Department of Buildings, and she oversees building safety codes and safety code enforcement. And she's been over there for 25 years. She also is one of the people that's running the illegal eminent domain scheme that's happening in the building department. Okay. Um, Now, she is one of the main reasons why she's tied to the Little Village demolition scandal. Annie, you don't see me on here talking? Uh, and then she was directly involved in approving the Crawford Power Plant smokestack demolition in Little Village, which resulted in a massive dust cloud covering the neighborhood. That's what she does. Okay, she gets kickbacks with going to demolish buildings and houses and stuff she's not supposed to, but she's going to do it because she is a criminal and she believes that she runs the Department of Buildings. She's been there for over 25 years. And then after uh, now, after the inspector general found her responsible for this, instead of removing her, Mayor Brandon Johnson makes her head of the Department of Buildings. Okay. Then you got Dr. Iggy. She is the commissioner of the Chicago Department of Public Health. Now, she shouldn't be in there either because they have the epidemiology program, and the epidemiology program for the last 4 years they have gotten $1.4 billion, and nobody has yet to talk about that because they laundering money in the name of epidemiology and public health, and a lot of these programs and departments, but nobody's not talking about it. Now, she stepped into her role as Chicago's public health commissioner in November 2023. Okay. Of course, she is the first Black woman to hold this position permanently. She's already dealt with some uncertain funding, also dealt with some budget issues. The Chicago Department of Public Health relied heavily on COVID-19 relief funds, aka rely heavily on stealing these COVID relief funds. But the funds ran out in 2024, and they weren't supposed to run out until 2026. That's why he's again trying to get that $820 million. Okay. Dr. Iggy has admitted that the public health funding is unstable and it's affecting key programs like mental health clinics, disease prevention, and community health initiatives. Well, our mental health resources, no one cares about that. Ron Manuel, he knocked down anything. He shut down anything that was supposed to help people with our mental health. All the mental health programs, the mental health clinics, all of that. No one takes mental health seriously, and they do it on purpose. They want you to crack up and go off and act a fool because you're dealing with a whole bunch of narcissists and psychopaths that's running America. People worry that without a long-term funding plan, that the Chicago Department of Public Health will struggle in maintaining services. And that's crazy because where is that $1.4 billion that was in epidemiology? That is a lot of money. $1 billion is a lot of money. So you have a 1.4 billion. So you at what? 400 million. So we're like, yeah, like that's why we need these forensic audits, because I feel like that public health funding is stable. I just feel like y'all stealing. But I feel like, but that's why y'all need to go to jail. Okay? Now, Brandon Johnson campaigned on to reopen mental health clinics. Now, supposedly there are 2 mental health clinics that are open. So, I think one in Roseland, and then there's one on the north side somewhere. So, yeah. Then you have Kenya Merritt. She's the chief small business officer. Okay. And she is a deputy mayor of business and neighborhood development. She oversees efforts to support small businesses and drive economic growth in Chicago. Um, but she's having problems because relying on tax increment financing money. But those are meant to help struggling neighborhoods by reinvesting local tax dollars. Um, but they're not benefiting our areas because, again, they don't want to give us that TIF money. It could, like this could work, but they stealing money. Merritt had admitted that TIFs are not predictable or equitable. Um, she also says that she tried to make it easier for businesses to get licensed, but many still struggle. And I know about 3 lounges that are closed right now. Because they cannot. They're having issues with their license. It's always us that have the issues. We got to go through hoops and go around and do all extra stuff. So I don't know what she's doing. Chicago has 77 neighborhoods, but not all get equal investment. We know, even though the TIF money is more than enough money to help with our infrastructure on the south side and the west side, but for some reason, we don't have access to this money. And I don't care how many they talk about, how many business resources and grants and stuff we have. We do not have these grants and stuff. So we have to talk about this. We have to talk about this, about what we need for our small businesses, because we're not getting that either. You also have Umi Grisby. She is his chief of policy, and she played a key role in developing policies aimed at improving Chicago, such as paid leave, one fair wage, and treatment non-trauma. Now I'm sure one fair wage, they got what they were supposed to be getting. Paid leave, I gotta see if that went through. I know a lot of them got some pushback from the city council members for that. Um, I know, so I will have to go back and check with that. I know the Annette Nance Holt. She is the firefighter. She's a chief firefighter commissioner, and she's a sweet lady. She's a very sweet lady. She's nice. She looks nice in her outfit, but I don't know what she's doing either, because the firefighters still have not gotten a raise, and the firefighter union wrote a letter and says they don't even have any confidence. They have no confidence in this administration or this commissioner that they'll get their raise. So I don't know what she's doing. All I know is that when it comes to the firefighters in general, they're not getting what they're supposed to get anyway. And those their fire trucks, it's always something wrong with them. Wheels that came off of them. The water hose don't work. It's just always an issue or a problem. They don't take the firefighters as seriously as you would think they would, especially after all these fires, okay, and plane crashes that's happening, you know. So firefighters are going to have to come show up to both of these. So I don't understand. So a firefighter should have no issue getting no money, no money at all. Okay, then you have Tracy Scott. Now, Tracy Scott, she left November 1st, but she served as the CEO of Chicago Housing Authority from March 2020 until her departure. She left the last day of October 2024, but I'll say November 1st. Um, she was absolutely terrible. Okay, she was responsible for overseeing affordable housing and supporting community development within Chicago. Tracy Scott, by far, it was the worst, and she came from um, Minneapolis and Atlanta, and she was also terrible there too. That's one thing I've learned too about all of this. These people don't get fired. It's like they hurry up and leave and get into another position before they get fired. But their history is so terrible. It's like how you might owe back rent over here, but you get out before it hits your credit or the eviction hits your credit, so you're able to get a whole nother place and stuff like that. That's exactly how this is. They all terrible. They all are terrible for their jobs. They should have been fired. None of them get fired. It's like they sneak and get out before shit hits the fan, and then it's done. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. So she's out now. I don't know where she's at. She better not be. She better not have another job. She's absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Then you have Melissa Conyers Irvin. Conyers Irvin. Okay. Now I don't know why she's still there. And I don't know why. Um, I think she's still waiting on her security detail that we're paying for, but I think the security detail is $400,000. But she has um, taken money. She has used money for stuff that she wasn't supposed to use money for. She's trying to now get our seniors and people who do not have any type of $250 to invest into a casino that is not good for the city of Chicago. So um, that's the new thing. They don't. She's part of this team. She should have. She's another person that the inspector general suggested that she should be removed, and she's still the treasurer. She's still the treasurer. her husband, her no good husband, Jason Irvin, is still an alderman. So I don't know. I don't know why she's still there, but she's part of his administration. So the failing administration. Okay, and then you got Mayor Johnson, but you also have Randy Connor Jr. He was appointed as the commissioner of the Department of Water Management. He oversees the water infrastructure. Okay. He was appointed the commissioner of Chicago Department of Water Management in 2017, following a series of scandals involving allegations of racism, sexism, and a hostile work environment within the department. His appointment still was intended to address and reform the department's troubled culture. So, despite all of that, that's what I'm saying. Like, to sit here and try to talk about anybody else, like how y'all be quick to talk about Trump with this sexual harassment and everybody else. I mean, everybody clearly, yeah, it's mixed. It's mixed. Like, this man shouldn't be nowhere. He shouldn't even be a commissioner of anything. But he's the commissioner of the water department. The water department, out of all the places, the water department. Um, Despite the leadership changes, including his appointment, the Department of Water Management continue to face lawsuits alleging systematic racism, sexism, and harassment. In 2019, former Chief Operating Engineer Catherine Ely resigned, citing a toxic work environment criticized by racial and gender based discrimination. She, along with other plaintiffs, filed a lawsuit claiming discriminatory practices and remain pervasive, under Connor's leadership. Okay. Victor Henderson, an attorney representing plaintiffs in a discrimination lawsuit against the Department of Water Management, called for a comprehensive overhaul of the department. He emphasized the needs to address ongoing issues of racism, cronyism, and homophobia, suggesting that leadership, including Commissioner Connor, was not effectively tackling these problems. In December 2023, Mayor Brandon Johnson rehired Connor as the head of the Department of Water Management. This decision was met with criticism due to Connor's previous tenure, during which allegations of discrimination persisted. Some stakeholders expressed concerns about reinstating leadership associated with unresolved systematic issues. While Connor's initial appointment aimed to reform the Department of Water Management's culture, his tenure was marked by ongoing challenges related to workplace discrimination and criticism regarding the effectiveness of his leadership in addressing systematic issues. So yeah, this is the type of mayor that we have. Okay, this is the type of mayor that we have. He rehired uh, Collier. He rehired this person. He rehired um, um, Marlene Hopkins. I mean, yeah, something wrong. Something wrong. Now, Brandon Johnson is his own worst enemy. Number two is There's somebody also around him by the name of Maurice Robinson. And Maurice Robinson is, I really feel like that's his downfall. I really feel like he has some type of vendetta against um, Mayor Brandon Johnson, and I think he is making sure that he looks worse than he already looks like. Uh, he's his senior aide. His name is Maurice Robinson. He's a senior aide, and he acts like he knows what he's doing. He does not. And I feel like Brandon Johnson puts too much confidence in him and asks him, "Hey, did you take care of this?" And Maurice is like, "Yeah, I took care of it," and did not take care of it. And um, I believe that Maurice Robinson is a liar, and I believe that he will say anything. Um, he'll say anything to make Brandon Johnson look a mess because he does not like Mayor Brandon Johnson. And so I feel like he's one of the main people. Kennedy Bartley, I feel like she's a nice girl, but I don't think she knows exactly what she's doing as well. Um, he had three um, people that was in intergovernmental affairs. One being Audrey Harding, um, another one being Simone. Let me see. I know I got it because that really hurt my heart when I saw that. Yeah, so Kennedy Bartley, now she's head of intergovernmental affairs now, but she faced criticism in the past about police officers in the war in Gaza. In 2020, Instagram Live, she referred to police as slave catchers. And in 2021 podcast, she made comments about abolition and defunding the police. These led to calls from several aldermen for resignation, citing concerns over their ability to work effectively with law enforcement and city officials. Now, that's freedom of speech. Okay, that's number one. Number two is she said what she had. She said what she said. She apologized. But a lot of people dragged it all the way out because they this is a this is a terrible administration. So I think more people want to put more stuff on it. But at the end of the day, people have a right to feel how they feel, and that was during the time when Eric Gardner and the George Floyd and all that stuff happened when they were trying to divide us with us hating the police and making it this big thing, even though we have yet to get any legislation out of all that. But so I think that was during that time, and people took that out of context. So yeah, I don't have no issue with Kenny Barley, but I do know that could have been frustrating during that time, and they basically wanted us to be like that and be upset and hate cops and say those type of things. So yeah, but yeah, I think it was they took it to the extreme. Um, the resignation of Cindy Holman, Audrey Harding, and Melanie Burks. They were the original intergovernment affairs team. Um, they resigned. Sydney Holman, she's deputy mayor of intergovernmental affairs, and she's been around for a long time. So it was kind of crazy that he got rid of her. Um, she resigned after an internal reshuffling that reduced her influence, which is crazy because she had a lot of experience and it was a lot stable when she was there, when Audrey was there. So I think that was one of the worst. That was the worst three people to get rid of. Um, it was responsible for securing votes in the city council for some of Johnson's most controversial decisions, the ceasefire resolution for Gaza, protecting an ally from censure. Um, she opposed reporting to Kennedy Bartley, which may have contributed to the decision to step down, which I don't blame her. I don't know why she was be step. Why would she be reporting to Kennedy Bartley? It should have been the other way. Audrey Harding and Melanie Burks, that was deputy intergovernmental affairs officials, they resigned the same day as Holman, which, yeah, like yeah, ain't no way in the world. Part of the team responsible for building relationships across the city council and securing votes for Johnson's agenda. Um, yeah, so they gave all of the power that they had, they gave it. Brandon Johnson gave it to Kennedy Bartley, and that was the dumbest thing. Like Kennedy Bartley don't know how to do this. She don't know how to do no intergovernmental affairs. She really don't. They don't know how to govern. They don't know how to govern at all. So that was she should have stayed where she was, whatever position she had before that. I know he promised her a little position that was good, you know. But yeah, it's been in shambles ever since. Um, so yeah. So his lawyer, Mary Richardson Lowry, I don't think she knows what she's doing either. I think that they are stalling because they are in trouble, and they have nowhere to go. They don't know what to do. I also think that I also think they're all in cahoots though. I think they're playing this game like how wrestling is fake, like they all don't like each other. Kwame Raoul, um, Pritzker, Brandon Johnson, but Tony Preckwinkle. I know that they have meetings on Zoom probably every night because they don't know what's going to happen next. So yeah, that's how that works. All right. Well, in conclusion of what we talked about today, um, National Black History Month, I think that we can work with that, and I got some ideas for that, and I'll let you know how that goes. If you guys have not seen my interview with uh, Uda, and that is connecting people with policy, check that out. We got Famous Friday this Friday coming up. But yeah, that's basically it. Talk about that today, and yeah, I just when it comes to Brandon Johnson, I see a lot of people trying to cap for him. Like it's not him; it is definitely him. And his administration. You do not hire people who have no idea what they're doing. And y'all came in there stealing too fast. Everybody. And they didn't think nobody was going to pay attention because, again, we don't. We let a lot of stuff slide. But I think after this COVID situation and how much fear mongering y'all put in when it comes to these presidents and all this stuff, you got more people watching and looking at stuff like that. But this is this is bad. You got Tiffany Hanyard, they fighting down in Dalton, and you got this man up here with a whole bunch of people in his administration who have no idea what they're doing. and they're leaving. The ones who aren't leaving, that's because they haven't secured a job yet. So once they secure a job, they're going to, and it's all going to fall on that. It's all going to fall on that man. I do believe that he's Haitian though. I ain't even gonna hold you. He's fighting too hard for these illegals. So I believe that he was a foster child as well, and he's of Haitian descent. And Kwame Raoul is of Haitian descent too, and I believe all of them trying to work together. That's that's my last piece for that. Okay, because none of this is a game. They think it's like wrestling. They act like they are beating these people up and doing all this stuff. Whole time they ain't doing none of that stuff. This is all fake. This is a fake. This is a storyline. It's one of the worst storylines on earth. So we just got to get what we're going to get, and that is removing these people out of office, and getting some more people in office that's independent thinkers, and know that this isn't a game. This is our tax. This is our tax dollar, and these people work for us, and we are not going to continue to be bamboozled. And like I said, I believe that uh, Black History Month, freedmen can get that whole month off. So think big. All right, thank you for listening and talking. I will see y'all Friday for Famous Friday. That'll be good. That's Andre Vasquez. And if it's anything else before then, I'll go on for about 15 or 20 minutes. And that's it. All right, thank y'all. Happy Freedmen History Month.